The theme for the 56th session is the empowerment of rural women and their role in poverty and hunger eradication, development and current challenges.
Even if we go to as many conferences as possible, as long as what we take home does not trickle down to those rural women, we are talking to ourselves. And so the African Union has become a champion. It is the theme for a decade. We are very serious about it.
In Doha, the achievement made as regards women's empowerment were thoroughly debated by the participants. Lita Musimo Ogana of the African Union Commission Gender and Development Directorate said most of what was discussed here would be taken to the United Nations, where she is heading to after here.
The United Nations next session on the Commission on Status of Women, the 56th session, is going to talk about rural women. Why do we keep on insisting on rural women? Because 80% of the populations in our continents are rural people. 52% of that is women.
The Vice President of the Gambia is not a stranger when it comes to issues relating to the Commission on the Status of Women. The Gambia holds an influential position at the CSW. With a team centering on rural women and their role in poverty and hunger eradication, the Vice President said the issues are in line with socio-political realities.
This meeting is reminding us once again about the importance of involving women in development and empowering them, and ensuring gender equity, equality, and their empowerment as a whole, for the benefit of society, not just for the benefit of women, but indeed for the benefit of society. That is what we are being reminded in this meeting. That's why we came up with the Doha Declaration, which hopefully we should all go back and ensure we implement. Because most of the recommendations of the Doha Declaration and Plan of Action or Program of Action are in line with what we discussed at the CSW, they're in line with what we discussed at the AU, they're in line with what we discussed at the ECOWAS, and even in line with our women's policy in the Gambia, 2010 to 2020.
The Gambia has been described by many delegates as a shining example of a country that is on course to reaching the international targets set aside by several specialized agencies on gender and women's empowerment. Going by the massive support the Gambian women continue to receive from the leadership, the future, many say, is indeed bright. Ibrahima Balde, GRTS.
You can follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website, and that's on www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio live. Time now to take our first break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. With days to go before voters in Senegal cast their ballot in the February 26 presidential polls, tension is running high in the West African country. The recent rise in violence precipitated by the Constitutional Court's decision to accept President Wade's bid to contest a third term has worried many in the country. Meanwhile, the Senegalese Minister of the Interior, Ousmane Gam, has called for calm ahead of the polls, with apologizing to the mainly Tijaniya Brotherhood for a police attack on a congregation in the capital. We have details in this report.
Senegalese Interior Minister Ousmane Ngom presented his apologies to the Tidiane Muslim Brotherhood on Sunday night after tear gas grenades had been thrown into a mosque in Dakar by police 2 days earlier during clashes with demonstrators.
I would like to apologize personally and on behalf of the National Police to the Tidiane Brotherhood and the entire Muslim community of Senegal for this unfortunate incident that took place at the El Hadj Maliksi Mosque.
The attack on the mosque had deeply shocked the Tidianes, who make up one of the most influential religious brotherhoods in Senegal, along with the Mourides.
Even during war, mosques, churches and hospitals are protected. Even during war, when these places are attacked, it is a crime against humanity.
Muslim worshippers gathered on Sunday at this mosque in the center of Dakar. Demonstrations against the candidacy of incumbent President Abdoulaye Wade were continuing in Dakar and several other cities several days before the presidential elections on Sunday the 26th.
Wrestling contest was recently staged in the Foni Bondali village of Bulangat. The event, organized by youths of the area, is part and parcel of efforts aimed at reviving the dying traditional sport. Samuel Barr tells us more about the bouts that attracted local dignitaries and wrestling enthusiasts.
The youth of Foni Bondali through the Gambia Wrestling Federation are playing a lead role in recent efforts to revitalize the once admired muscle flexing game by organizing this wrestling competition in the Foni Bondali village of Bulangat. Thrilling event which attracted spectators from far and near saw wrestlers from surrounding villages take turns to showcase their skills and put their might to use. Organizers did not lose sight of the need to remind the wrestlers about the rules governing the centuries-old game. Moments like this can make supporters feel edgy, especially if their wrestler is the one in the ring. One familiar feature of this traditional sport is the relentless melodious sounds of the drums and cheers from the ecstatic crowd of spectators. In the midst of spectators were renowned veteran wrestlers who came not only to enjoy the beauty of the game in a friendly atmosphere, but to give courage to budding wrestlers who hailed from the same village. Among them was Kanilais Ara Sane, Tampong Jawa of Bisari, Yaya Sane of Kawali, and Abdul Jage of Sangajor. As the wrestlers flung each other skillfully, employing old and new techniques, the veterans could not help reminiscing about the good old days. The chief of Foni Bondali hosted the event.
I called all my people from all parts of my district to sensitize them about the wrestling. How can we bring back the wrestling contest in our region? This is why we have organized this wrestling today.
Yeah. The ultimate aim of it is just to bring up the people together and unite them so that we can also understand and bring back the culture of wrestling back, so that we can send them to the regional and they compete with other districts. From there, if we are able to have any other person who are qualified to represent us in the national committee, on the National Wrestling Association.
Wrestling, as we all know, is an old thing in the Gambia. But as you rightly said, it is on the verge of dying. So the need, therefore, to revive it cannot be overemphasized.
Today here, definitely I am very, very happy because what the showcase they're doing here of this wrestling, definitely that tells me, wrestling will come back to its place. Definitely, my brother.
Wrestling contests used to be held frequently, especially during the dry season, but now they are becoming less common, perhaps a sign of changing times. Most residents of the village of Bulangat, the youth in particular, may not recall the last time a similar program was last held in the village. Samuel Ba, GRTS.
And before we go, reminder of our headlines. Vice President Dr. Aissatou Njie Seydi today held talks with the Secretary General of the United Nations World Tourism Organization. The Gambia is moving to ensure greater internet connectivity with the launching of the $35 million World Bank-funded West Africa Regional Communication Infrastructure Program. The Tourism and Culture Minister, Fatouma Njie, has commissioned the new look for Jaro Craft Market after a thorough renovation to the tune of $5.5 million. Senegal's Minister for the Interior has apologized to the Tijaniya Brotherhood for tear gas attack on a mosque by police battling anti-war demonstrators. And Iran has dispatched 2 of its warships off the coast of Syria as the war of words with the West over its controversial nuclear program continues to rage. You can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website, and that's on www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio live. That's all in the news. Thank you very much for your time, and have a very good week. Feel nice.
I never thought you could make me. I don't